Owning a supercar, it's probably one of the thoughts that each one of us has every day. At least we thought of it once in our lifetime. Whether it's the look or the amount of horsepower that the supercars bring us, or just the prestigious feeling that you have when you drive a car that's worth more than 100,000 pounds. Either way, I believe that each one of us deserves at least one chance in this lifetime to drive a supercar. And the car that I have here today, well, let's just say that it makes you feel like Tony Stark. It's so prestigious, it's so beautiful, so elegant, and most of all, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing, because this car is way undervalued.
In today's show, we're gonna have this. And this. And of course, this.
This is the R8, a wonder car made by Audi. This car was brought to life in 2006 and it's still going today. Now, it had a major facelift in 2012 and was completely redesigned in 2015. But when I say completely redesigned, it wasn't that much changed. But nevertheless, the car that I have here today, it's an icon. It's the car that Tony Stark had. And actually, you can see this car in 50 Shades of Grey. So why is it such a desirable car? Well, just look at it. It's fast, it's based on the Lamborghini Gallardo, and honestly, it looks amazing.
The R8, the first Audi who stepped into the supercar world. The car that would become the R8 was first shown in 2003 at International Motor Show in Geneva, and it was named the Audi Le Mans Quattro. The good news for us is that most of the design of the Le Mans Quattro remained for the current Audi R8. The similarities between the two cars are staggering.
From the front end, this car looks beautiful. It was the first car in the world who brought daytime running lights. And what do I mean by daytime running lights? Nowadays, almost all the car has it, but in 2006, this was the only one. And you can actually see that they light up pretty neat here. This car has parking sensors, which they are pretty neat hidden right here on the bottom of the front bumper. We also have here this front grille, which actually was designed by Audi in 2005. All the models after 2005, 2006 adopted this big grille. Now this grille, it's half covered in plastic and half it's empty, because we have a radiator here and all the air needs to go through. Also, as you can see, this car doesn't have fog lights. Well, I don't think anybody would drive such a car on fog time, but nevertheless, doesn't have them.
Even driving around town, this car, it makes you feel special. The way the lines are drawn, the way the engine sounds, it's not mean, it's just a pleasant sound. Everybody wants one.
From the side, the R8, it's truly magnificent. These beautiful lines show how pretty the car is. So well designed, so beautiful, and yet it's not ostentatious. It's quite elegant and nice, and it behaves nicely. It's not shouting, "I'm a supercar, look at me." It's just looking amazing. This car rides on 19-inch wheels with Pirelli P0 tires, and it has some huge brakes. One nice attention to detail is that on the brake calipers we have the R8 signature, which looks nice. This little monster that I have here today has a 4.2 V8 petrol engine, which produces 430 horsepower and 430 Newton meters. Now, why do I say 430 horsepower? Well, this little one was put on a dyno test and the result was 430 horsepower. The car that I have here today has a 6-speed manual gearbox, and it's pretty rare because a lot of them were having the 7R-tronic automatic gearboxes. Now, I don't say that the manual is better or the automatic is better, but if it was up to me, I always would choose the manual one. Now, also this car is 4-wheel drive. It has the famous Audi Quattro system, and to be honest with you, I don't think there's any other way that this car could have been made better.
Being a mid-engine car combined with this twin-turbo V8 and along with this 6-speed manual transforms this car into a Mozart symphony. Driving this car on these countryside roads makes it a one-of-a-kind experience. Everything is so well put together that you don't want to end this experience. From the rear end, this car is very beautiful. One thing that actually stands out is that you can see your engine through the rear windscreen. These beautiful LED tail lights and also this quad exhaust, plus this nice big air vents truly shows how beautiful this car is. Even the R8 badge looks magnificent.
One thing that I do love about this car is how it sounds. The engine combined with this exhaust sounds pretty incredible. Take a listen. One interesting thing is getting into this car, because the door handle, it's something very nice designed. You don't actually see it, but once you put your hand here, it opens magically. So, inside the R8. Well, what can I tell you about this car? First of all, it's pretty spacious. I mean, I couldn't believe that actually it's so big on the inside, because from the outside the car is big. It's so wide and so elegant on the street. But on the inside I always thought it's gonna be small and tight. Well, it ain't. It's pretty spacious in here. Of course, you don't have that much storage room like a normal sedan, but remember, this is not a normal sedan or a normal sports car. This is a supercar, and it's an actually daily drivable supercar, because you do have some spaces when you can actually put your stuff. You have here a spacious glove box. It's not that big, but it's useful. You have the door side pockets, which you can actually put some stuff in them, and because the doors open like any other normal car, stuff won't fall out of it. Pretty ingenious, ain't it?
The steering wheel looks really nice. It is fully covered in leather and with this beautiful aluminium trim. I like this flat bottom here and the thickness of the steering wheel. It's very sporty. We have radio controls on it, and this car has voice control. One particular thing is that it's not electrically adjustable. This one it's just manual, but it doesn't bother me that much. The gauge cluster looks pretty normal. We have here in the middle this little screen that gives us a little bit of information about the car. like the speed that you are driving with, the radio information, and also the fuel consumption, which is something that you don't want to look at, because if you drive this car nicely, you manage to do like 21 miles per gallon, which it's not that impressive. Also, in the rev counter we have this R8 badge, and I do like it because it makes you feel special. But you don't actually need that, because behind you have that beautiful 4.2 engine. Moving away from the gauge cluster, we have this beautiful dashboard layout, which of course it's driver orientated. Now, I do like this aluminium climate controls. This is a pretty nice attention to detail that Audi is giving us. One stunning thing about this interior, it's this gear shifter, which reminds me of the old Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Just look at it. It's a truly beautiful masterpiece. Next to the gear shifter, we have these buttons, but my favorite one is the control for the rear spoiler. Look what happens when I press this button. This car has electronically adjustable shock absorbers, which is a nice feature because it's transforming this car from a race monster into a comfortable, daily drivable supercar. Also, the ESP button and the parking sensors are right here next to the gear shifter. The infotainment system of this car is pretty similar like any other Audis. The only thing that differs is this R8 badge. If you wanna see more details about the infotainment system, I'm gonna put a link with my Audi A8 because they do share the same Audi multimedia interface. Other than that, the sound system in this car, it's the Audi Concert, and it sounds really good. The attention to details was staggering at this car. I do like this R8 on the doorstep. I also like these bolstered seats. They are fully electrical heated seats and they look nice, and also they hug you in all the right places. Regarding the practicality of this car, well, let's just say it like this. If you want to play golf with your buddies, this isn't the car for you, because it only has one trunk and it's placed in front of the car. This front boot has 112 liters of cargo space, which isn't enough, but it isn't bad for a daily car. You have some storage compartment behind the seats. And also Audi created some special bags that fit this area perfectly. Have a look at them. If you wanna be in trend with the fashion style, well, these are the bags for you. Driving the R8. I'm so nervous because this is such an expensive car and it's so easy to handle, but you know, you get nervous because you feel like Tony Stark. I don't have an iron suit, I just have a cat, but I do feel like him right now, so I'll be honest with you, it feels pretty neat to drive this car. Now, one thing that I do love, even from the beginning, it's how this gear shifter feels, because it feels pretty amazing. So precise. So here you feel so connected with the car, and oh my god, it really goes, it's really fast. You have the sensation like being in a go-kart.
this steering wheel, this steering column, it's so efficient and so well designed. It's heavy but precise. It's quite there when you need it. So such a joy driving this, and the way the car goes when you actually press the gas, it's impeccable. There's no other car that I'd rather buy instead of this one. You can get an R8 in the UK for around 40,000 pounds. A good example one. These manual ones are really hard to find because Audi didn't make a lot of them. Most of them have that automatic 7 R-tronic, and later on the facelift was the 7 S-tronic. But this one, in terms of ride quality, the ride quality, it's nice. It's bumpy, but you have 420 horsepower, so you cannot be messing around with the suspension. We also have here the button for the shock absorbers, because they're actually electrical adjustable. But when the car is in comfort mode, it feels pretty nice and nice to drive. I can actually see myself driving this car daily. The all-wheel drive does its talent. You can actually feel how precise the car is. It handles very well, it's very sharp, it goes very fast. But to be honest with you, I fell in love with this car since I've seen it for the first time. So my feelings, I cannot be in a partial review because I love this one. So it doesn't have any issues that I can actually bring to you. Fuel consumption, it's it's something that you may consider twice. Owning this car, it's kind of expensive because the road tax, it's 600 quid. The insurance, well, the insurance depends on how good driver you are, but other than that, I don't know if you used to have an RS4 before or an RS6. I think this is the proper car you need to buy. Or even if you didn't have any supercars before this one, I think it's a good starter. Now, some problems, some common faults with this car. Well, there aren't so many. A lot of them had some transmission problems, but not the manuals. I've read on forums that most of the automatics, if you don't service them properly, you will have issues with them. Also, the engines. Now, keep in mind that this is a supercar, so you cannot take it for a test drive, get the shit out of it, and not put quality oil and quality filters on it. Because the oil needs to be good quality, the filters need to be top of their line. So, if you take good care of this car, it's a car to have for life. Now, about the value of this car. Well, being a manual and of course it's 4-wheel drive, this thing is gonna explode in value because they are so rare and Audi doesn't make them anymore, and all the cars that are right now in the market, they are not like this one. They can never be like this one, and the sound that you have from this engine behind me, it's amazing. It's one of a kind experience, so you really have to put it on your bucket list. Put it like this: one day I need to buy an Audi R8. This was the R8, a perfectly beautiful supercar that you can actually daily drive it. If you liked my video, put a thumbs up, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, there's a lot more coming from my side. Take care. I'll see you soon. Stay safe.